Hey, what's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. And I am excited to be with you as I am most mornings. Well, pretty much every morning. Um, and this morning we have a returning guest. This young lady is a retired school counselor, and she is and has been building her online business. Got started here with Legendary, has been taking lots of action, doing lots of learning, launching and becoming the leader of her business, and it's a beautiful thing to watch. She said that last time she was on Wake Up Legendary after her business blew up. So I'm excited to continue to lift her up, give her a platform to be able to tell her story and share her value. With that being said, Jill, welcome back to the show.
Hi, Dave. Thank you for having me. It's good to see you.
Hey, it's great to see you again. So business blew up after your last Wake Up Legendary attendance or
Oh my God.
appearance.
Yeah, it was I couldn't keep up. It was just insane. I did a video like a few days after I was on, and that video on Instagram to date has over 1.6 million views. And
Awesome.
the same video is on Facebook, and that has over 600,000 views. What did I say?
Wow.
1.6 million? Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it was like insane. Uh,
Wow.
and my following, I think when I was on before, I think I was really struggling to maintain 6,000 followers on Instagram. And that next, within a month of being on, I had gained like 25,000 followers. I'm up to like 38,000 now or something like that. And on Facebook, couldn't quite get to 1,000 because I was thinking about doing a live, but I needed 1,000 followers. And
Mhm.
I think I'm at like 12, 13,000 now. I mean, it has just been a godsend. I wanted to send you a bouquet of flowers or something because I owed it all to you, I'm sure.
Well, it's our pleasure, and we love to showcase great stories, and we love to give you a platform to be able to share your experience. And so you deserve it, and we're happy to continue to support you. And so, you were also on our recent workshop we did. I came in at the end of you and Joanne having a conversation backstage, and you said that well, I didn't hear what you said about that. So you could have said that it was miserable and you hated it, but that was our faceless following one-time workshop that we did over the weekend. What was your experience with that?
Oh, I was telling Joanne that, I was watching this. It was amazing because I think, Dave, now this is just me because I'm older. I'm not, those single moms that are all on here and that dance around and, do all kinds of cool, creative, videos. I'm a talking head most of the time. Sometimes I try to sprinkle things up, but so that workshop was invaluable to me because it like, oh God, I could just I mean, I didn't even have to go faceless. It was like, I realized I wasn't getting my hook stuck onto my video. Initially, I wasn't hooked. I'm there. Oh, so it was tremendous. But I told you, I said, I only got to watch like for 2.5 hours, but I can go back and watch the rest. And
Yeah.
that's just like amazing. I loved it. And she was saying you guys may do more of those kinds of things. And that would be phenomenal for me because, yeah,
Well,
who
you
has
never
time?
Well, you never know where you're going to get where something's going to click, and you may be learning about something a little bit different and unique. What she's talking about this weekend, we did a one-time workshop on creating a faceless following, building a theme page that does not show your face, but instead just markets faceless content, which you see a lot out there on the internet. And you may just think that those pages randomly pop up, but there's actually a human being that's behind them that's creating that content very purposefully. And yeah, something else may click, like you pointed out, the fact that your hooks aren't where they need to be, and you can improve there, whether you are creating faceless content or not. So, the bottom line is you come from the education uh,
Mhm.
career, an education career. What is it like for you now? And help us to understand how you see digital education, such as companies like Legendary, playing a role in people's career development in the now and in the future, opposed to just only traditional education avenues like university and so forth.
It's the future of it. I mean, I don't think there's any question. I haven't worked as a full-time counselor for about 10, 11 years, but even, we had virtual classes back then for some students who we didn't offer that particular course, so they could go onto a site and take it online. And so that started when I was still working, and that has only grown. And I see companies like Legendary who are offering alternatives. I cannot tell you the number of students I've had over the years for whom school does not work. It does not work for them. They cannot, for whatever
I'm
thing
one of
it's
them.
yeah. And I always, it's like, geez, if we only had something else to offer these guys, where they could complete their education, but it didn't have to be sitting at a desk, pen and paper, it was some other avenue or some other skill. And I talk about that sometimes in my reels. Yes.
Hello. Hello.
It's true, and I've told people, I said, the whole thing, I mean, we need people to go to college still. We do. We need doctors and lawyers and nurses and those kinds of really specialized things. But for a lot of kids who are racking up hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to a brick and mortar school, when they could be doing some other thing online that maybe fits with their personality or their skill set or what they're interested in, I don't think you can beat it. I just think that's what is going to become more and more prevalent. You'll just see that more and more people doing that. I think it already shows up because you can't find good help anymore. Like, you can't find the guy to come and do your gardening or your whatever it is. It's
I
just those
know.
people are all online.
I know. I experience it everywhere I go. There's a shortage of employees in the workforce, and I think you're right. I think the pandemic woke a lot of people up. I know we certainly had a huge influx of people coming into our community, doctors, lawyers, I mean, people from all walks of life, and yeah, that's really what's happening. People are scratching their head going, where's all the workers at? But I think
Yeah,
people are
well,
starting to wake up and realize that, look, I'm not going to be in a situation to where I'm deemed non-essential in the future if something happens. And I'm wondering if I'm going to be able to keep a roof over my head and sitting there waiting on a $1,400 check from the government, which, by the way, is not going to cover my monthly expenses anyways. And I need to create my own essential title for my own work and my own livelihood. And
yeah.
so talk to us about you doing this at the tender young age of, well, I won't disclose your age, you can if you want to, but tell us what it's like for you to has been like for you to start something new and be a learner all over again, be new at something again. How has it challenged you, and how has it breathed life, a new breath of life an excitement into your life?
Oh yeah, this is how I got onto online. I had been looking, and I retired early because I was burned out, and it was, oh my God, it was just too much. But I was still working part-time as a school counselor, and then COVID hit. And so we went virtual. And then because I was in this teeny weeny tiny school, they eliminated my position after that. So I'm thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? I need to work, because I don't make my and my skimpy little retirement thing, we're not covering. I live in Vermont. It's very expensive to live here. I'm from here. I'm not going to move to West Bumblebee because it's cheap. These are my peeps. So I had to find something. And, I'm a lifelong learner. I'm an educator. I'm a lifelong learner. And I don't think there'll ever be a time in my life when I'm not interested in learning something new. That's just who I am, and I think most educators are like this. So I started prowling around online looking for something, and that's when I came across these. Oh, be a transcriptionist, be a proofreader, or be a virtual assistant. And I'm thinking, you know what? You got to be hired for all of that. You got to meet qualifications, and you're God knows how many thousands of people you're competing against. I thought, no, no, no. I want to do something where I'm the boss, where what I do is on me, and I decide, I determine, and it's got to be from home because I'm sick of going out and having to deal with being out. So yeah, and I stumbled across this video, and I thought, oh my God. So I checked you out. I went and Googled you up and checked you out, and I'm like, oh my God, this is legit. And so I just signed up and went into it. Now, I'm so excited about your new $5 5-day challenge because I'm doing it. I just completed day 1 yesterday. I'm going to start day 2. But yesterday, for me, it's the technology because, oh my God, I do not enjoy it. My brain does not think in those ways. I don't have that kind of logical brain. So I need somebody to take me by the little hand and lead me along step by step. And so I love Ryan's videos. He's very good at doing that. And so that's what I needed is like, oh God, he's going to take me through, because that was stumbling me up. And many a time I wanted to quit. But I thought, no, I would get so frustrated and trying to get, just my systems going. And that I would walk away, and there were some tears, and I thought, no, 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 this has to work for me. And those are the kind of people that I'm looking for, the ones that are so motivated and so determined that there's no way this is not going to work for them. I get a lot of tire kickers, and that's fine. I love them too. Follow me, kick tires for as long as you need to. But I'm really focusing. That's why. That's why I'm like brutally honest. I think the people in my age group, I'm 73, by the way, I had a birthday. I'm older than old, but I don't care. I don't care. As as long as my brain continues to work at all, I'm going to do this. And because a lot of the people I talk to are, not all of them. I mean, I talk to 40s, but there's a lot of women. There's some men, but a lot of women in their 70s, older than me, who are thinking about this, and they're filled with trepidation. I think for them, it's a lot about the technology piece. And so, God, I watched, on day 1 of the new challenge, I'm like, yes, people can do this. They can figure this out. By doing that. So I was really very excited. So it gives me more ammo
Good.
to talk about in my videos with my target audience, those people that really, and I've heard, oh God, people just tell me the saddest stories. They've had cancer, they've lost their home, their spouse has died, and they really need this. And I'm there, man, I feel you, because I needed it too. I was going to become a burden on somebody if this, didn't work for me. So that's why it's going to work for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's really a great attitude to have no matter what you're doing. I mean, nowadays, if you want to be and it's always been like this. I mean, if you want to hold a decent job with a decent pay, you need to be committed, and you need to do what it takes to make it work. And you need to just increase that if you're going to have a business of your own where you're going to be the boss, because there's going to be nobody there holding you accountable. That's one of the things, there's a couple of different parts to, starting a business, a digital marketing business, is that, yes, you need to have some technical, training, and you need to overcome those technical hurdles and learn how to set up those things. And it's a few low to no cost tools, but it can feel like you're learning the whole tool shed. You're not. You're actually only learning a few tools: your funnel builder, your autoresponder, and sort of how to navigate Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, whatever you're using,
Right.
it can feel overwhelming, but it's important to remember that I don't have to learn a million tools. It's actually quite a lot less tools that I had to learn when I was a carpenter. When I was a
Oh, yeah.
carpenter, I needed to learn how to use lots of different tools. With online marketing, I really don't need to learn how to use that many tools to be effective. It
Right.
just, it feels so overwhelming because it's different and it's
Mhm.
technical and it's not what I'm used to. I'm
Right.
used to being able to fidget with something and figure it out because I can hold it. And on the internet, I'm sitting here clicking buttons and scrolling a mouse around, and that's foreign to me. So it's also that I'm trying to learn tools in a almost like a new language.
Exactly.
The
Yeah.
other thing that's important that you just hit on, and that is really important to remember, is that when you do get frustrated, and you will, and there may be tears and there may be curse words and you may throw your hat or you may want to throw your computer, to remember that nobody's gonna, if you quit, nobody's gonna be there to tell you that you can't, or to threaten you, or to, you have to be the person who holds yourself accountable. You have to be the boss. And a lot of us are not used to being the boss. We want to get paid like the boss, but we don't know really how to act like a boss. And
Right.
how you act like a boss is that if you are the boss of a department or you're the owner of a company and nobody shows up that day, you have to do the job. That's what being the boss means. That if nobody shows up, you have to do the job. If you want to be a great boss, the other thing that you have to do is be willing to do everything, or already have done everything, that you're telling your employees to do, or you're telling those who work for you to do. And so that's a different mindset than the typical mindset that we have as employees, which is, well, it's not my problem. If that's
Right.
how they want, right? That's the typical mindset of an employee, is that, well, hey, I'm just going to mind my own business.
Yeah, no, that,
Mm.
because I was a school counselor, I mean, and I didn't have a whole lot of authority as such. But what I did have were students that really kind of depended on me. And my job, part of my job, as I saw it, was to provide these kids with skills, with coping skills, with a vision for their future skills. I work predominantly in middle and high school, and those middle schoolers are just wild. But so I was skill building with them. So in a way, I was just leading them through the process of maturing and growing up and deciding who they were and who they wanted to be and what they wanted to do. So it wasn't like, it was similar to owning my own business, in that I was working with that little niche population. But I, as an employee in the school, I didn't have any authority. I mean, I just didn't, and I didn't really want it. I just wanted to focus on my kids. And I think that skill, has carried over into my digital business, where, like you said, the technology kind of really was overwhelming, but that is a small piece. And once you get that piece up and functioning, then the rest of it kind of opens up, and you can learn the other marketing skills and strategies, and how to post on your different platforms and stuff. And that stuff will come. And I still screw it up and get it wrong, but moving on. And I think, I've heard you guys say it before, nobody really wants perfection. So I
Mm,
don't do a whole lot of editing. I don't do
mm,
any editing on my videos, because it's like, this is who I am. Take it or leave it. I'm not going to fake something and pretend I'm something that I'm really not.
mm.
I've never done that. What you see is really what you get. I, you
Yeah.
know, and people respond to that. I can't tell you the number of folks that have gotten, emailed or messaged me and said, "You are so honest and authentic. You really resonated with me, and I could, I trust you." And that's
Yeah.
what I'm working for, is them to trust me. And I never, and the same with my students. If you don't have their trust, you got nothing. You might as well
Sure.
pack up and go home.
Sure.
So that's important to me as a digital marketer, to make sure that the people who connect with me trust me, and that,
Mm.
because they'll say, "Oh, please don't, are you sure this isn't a scam?" And I'm there, "I promise you, this is not a scam." And so far so good.
Yeah. Well, part of being trusted is, is confidence. And, it's hard to follow somebody into the forest who's unsure of themselves, because if your life is depending on something, or you're feeling like it is, if somebody's going to start an online business, or they're going to take a course, and they're wanting to improve their skills, they don't want to waste their time. Or if they're going to take any of your suggestions, no matter what niche you're in. I mean, if you're promoting dog training and their dog's biting people or chewing up the furniture or misbehaving, that's important to them. And one of the comments that Joanne just made, and I want to congratulate you for this as well, is she said the growth and she made this comment inside of our Slack channel, the growth and confidence in Jill from her first interview is visible. She said, I effing love it. Right.
Yeah, well,
And so talk to us about how your confidence has grown, and how are you, what do you contribute that to?
I never really saw myself as somebody who had an abundance of confidence, period. I was confident when I was a school counselor, guidance counselor. That may be a more familiar term to you, but because I knew what I was doing. And I learned the skills, and I continued my education on to learn more skills and more and more and more. I mean, so it's irrelevant now, but I've got a master's plus I'm halfway to a PhD if I wanted to do that, because over the years of working in education, you have to continue to educate yourself. So I was pretty confident in what I was doing in that arena. That didn't necessarily translate to other areas of my life. So when I started, with Legendary and doing digital marketing, it was like, it took me like a couple of months just to get the technology thing, because I kept putting it off and putting it off. It's not like I was working on it every day, because I still worked part-time, but it was just so like, oh God, it's like make yourself pull the tooth out, or, whatever is like nagging at you. And so once I got that done, I think, so it's like, all right, Jill, you can do hard things. You can do things that you don't have clue one about. But you look at every time I would, have stumble and have a block, and I would get through it. Now, whether it was through calling tech support at ClickFunnels, or somebody going onto the Legendary Facebook site and asking a question there, I got great help there also. And I'm there, look, God, yeah, I can do this. And so then it was just a question of getting more comfortable doing the videos. And I still struggle with that. I struggle with my creativity, and because again, I'm a talking head on there. I'm just talking to these people that are my age. It's like, really, are you ready for retirement? Have you saved? So the rest I leave up to the powers that be. I'm doing my best with what I know in the moment. And I think that's all that any of us can do. And so it's something that has evolved. I think experience really helps. The more you do something, the more you adjust to it and adapt to it and get comfortable with it. Because I have, women will say to me, there's no way I can, do these videos. Do you have to do the videos? And there's just no way. How am I going to? Well, there's a faceless way. This was, now, thank God we've got that thing to share with people how to do it facelessly. But, it's just something you're going to have to get used to. And, give yourself a pat on the back when you have a success. I am still stunned every time I have a video that goes viral. What was there about that video that was so extraordinary? It's like, alrighty then, and we're just going to build on it.
Yeah.
And it just takes time for me, because I'm slow to the party a lot of the time, and I don't care anymore. That's the other thing, is like, I don't care. I'm doing what I can do at 73. And if it's not good enough for you, it's good enough for me. Deal with it.
Facts. I
Yeah.
love that. And so talk to us a little bit about letting go of perfection, letting go of comparisonitis, as I call it, letting go of this imposter syndrome, these real, somewhat invisible but powerful elements, components of fear and anxiety that oftentimes we all sort of become dominated with in the beginning. And sometimes they even creep. They're like bugaboos. They come back and they never really fully go away. Talk to us about your process of letting them go and realizing what your style is, what your speed is, and owning your voice, your message, your presentation. Say a little bit more about that for us.
Yeah, well, I have an anxiety disorder. I've dealt with anxiety since my well, probably all of my life. I'm agoraphobic, if you want to know. But I had a lot of therapy, and so it never goes away, but I manage it. And that I think is key. So the imposter syndrome, when I first started doing videos and reels, was like, yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about here. I mean, who's going to listen to me? I don't have it figured out. And I don't know if I might have said that because I've always, when I first started this, I thought, I only know one way to be, and that's totally honest. I'm not going to bullshit anybody to get $1 out of them, which is why, you're in a different generation. But when I hear other affiliates call it a side hustle, that makes me like cringe, because in my generation, there was a dance called the hustle. I don't know if you remember or know that, but there was a dance called the hustle. I can hear the music. But it was like something like, I'm hustling to get $1 out of you and then move on to the next pigeon. That's how I view that term. And I never use it. I'm always clear to say, look, you're starting your own business. And it just, like anything else, Dave, it just took me time and perseverance. And that's where that determination comes in, because there were many days because I don't batch my videos. I do them on the day that they're posted. And I'm there, oh God, and before it's like, oh God. Some days they're like, geez, Louise, I want to go. So, if I were more organized, and I'm not, but if I were more organized, I'd have kind of it written down, like what kind of topics. And, I'm going to talk edutainment. I'm just going to tell my story, or whatever categories. And I do that a little bit. And I started doing that more. And I'll just focus on different areas. Like, I'll focus on different parts of my target audience. Like, I know I've got these retirees, or these people that want to retire and can't because they're in the same, but I mean, is it 401s? I don't have that. I never had that. So, I just focus on some of the statistics about retirement and how difficult it is. And, I target some of that towards the 40-ish people. Like, really, if you don't they're saying you need $1.6 million in your retirement account in order to retire. Are you kidding me? Who has that? I don't have that. So it's just something that the longer you do it, the easier it kind of becomes. But you're right, it never really goes away. It never really goes away. And I don't know. I think I've kind of lost where you wanted me to go with this, but I'm happy to talk about it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. Yeah. It's talking. It's your truth. I was just wanting you to say more about your own process of dealing with your own fears and anxieties. So what else have you learned that's helpful along this process, that if you were to go back and give your earlier self, a piece of advice, what would you say to younger Jill back, 9 months ago? I don't quite remember exactly when you started, but what would you sit down and say to her?
Well, it's just like, chill. Relax through this, because my anxiety would elevate, trying to get this going and learning all of the skills and because I'm older, I don't remember stuff. I have to go back and, it takes me longer. Yeah. And that to me is hugely frustrating, because I never used to be like that, but I am now. So, all right, there's that. So got to deal with that. So I just, it's like, relax, Jill, this is going to be all right. It was like renewing my commitment to making this successful for me. I didn't set out to make $1 million. I didn't. That would make me a little nervous. Not that I would say no to that, but that was not my goal. I wanted to earn enough money consistently every month so I didn't have to work outside in the house anymore. So I could do what I wanted to do and go where I wanted to go when I wanted to go and not have to wait for, school to be over or something. So, that was my primary focus. And so, like, just if I could have done anything differently, it would have been to slow down, even take a little longer. I was in a real hurry to get this up and running because I wanted to start generating an income out of it. And, it took a while. It took months before I got my first big commission. And I never really doubted it because I was getting little commissions. And I thought, well, okay, at some point somebody's going to break through here and want to go further. And they did. And what a boost. I can't tell you what a boost that is to your confidence. That alone is getting that first big commission. It's like, all right, I can do this. Nothing's going to stop me now, man, because all right, if there's one, there's going to be two and three, and I've just got to keep working it and be consistent. And so those were the things that I really kind of focused on for me. Is like, you're not going to shake me off this train. I'm going to just hang on here and keep doing it. So that's what I've kind of done. The compliance thing has rattled my pants, though. I'll tell you what. I was never anybody that I never bragged about. I never talked about. In fact, I would say in my videos, I'm not talking ever about how much money I make doing this. Number one, it's nobody's business. Number two, I live alone. I don't need some crackpot showing up here thinking I've got $1 million stashed in the attic. So I just never did. I mean, I was out of compliance in small ways. And that's what I spent the part of the weekend doing, was going through my email stream and editing out stuff to be more compliant, I hope. So I've watched that video twice with Christensen. Yeah. And I'll watch it again because there's a lot of information in there. And that makes me nervous. I am such a rule follower, Dave, that there's no way I ever want to get caught in that net. Never.
Yeah. Well, good. I mean, it's all a learning process. We're all learning together, and it's refreshing to hear your approach, which is just chill and take it one step at a time. Take it one video at a time, one day at a time. And one of the things that I started, that I said that we created a reel out of, and it's gotten a lot of attention over the weekend. Just in the last 24 hours, was something that I said on the Faceless Following workshop the other day, which is that you can start your business over at any time, and all of your past failures don't matter, and all of your future goals and visions don't matter if you don't do today what you need to do.
Right.
Because today's the most important day. And I contrasted that with my recovery. The most important lesson and little nugget of wisdom that I received from somebody when I first got clean and sober in 2008 was, do it just for today, Dave.
Right.
Don't worry about being sober for the rest of your life. Don't worry about the overwhelming thought of that. And also, don't worry about your mistakes, failures, and in the ways in which you fell short in the past. Worry about today, because if you want to change your past, your today is going to be your past tomorrow, and it's going to be your past in a week, in a month, in a year. And as well, the only way you're going to change your future is from today. And so, give yourself permission to start over today if you need to. Give
Yeah.
yourself permission to live and work just for today. Give yourself permission to enjoy the day the way that you the way that you want to enjoy it. Have fun with it. Don't worry about, as you say, making $1 million, because you may get hit by a bus tomorrow. You may have. I mean, my grandfather. Now, he smoked a couple of packs of Pall Malls every day, and he actually quit cold turkey, and some of us think that that's what killed him. But anyways, he died. He retired at 59 or something. Moved out from New York down to Florida, and died in his sleep within a couple of months of retirement. You just don't know when your number is going to get called, and so some of us are so worried, not only caught in the past and regretful of the past and anxious about the past and depressed about the past. More depressed, anxious about the future, and have these, as you say, are in such a rush to try to create these big results when you have no idea what you could be blind tomorrow. You could get into an accident tomorrow. You could die tomorrow. I mean, I'm using some pretty extreme examples, but it's true.
It is true.
Live for today. Work just for today. Start your business over just for today. If you have a personal goal, getting sober, something of that nature, losing weight, getting in shape, do it just for today. Start with a walk just for today. Start with a video just for today. And don't worry about the past, and stay out of the future. I call that future tripping. You're tripping about the future. You're all got your panties all in a wad, all over something that you have no idea if you're even going to be here for. And it's like, live just for today. Give yourself permission to start over. This is the other thing, is that we think that the first start that we had is the only start we ever get. No, nobody knows. Just start over today. Just literally start fresh. I'm launching a business this week. I told people on the workshop the other day, I said, take this training and launch your business on Monday. Or if you want a week to mull it over and get it set up, launch it next Monday. But launch it brand new. Oh, well, I've been doing it already for 9 months. Who cares? Nobody knows. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't.
Just start over. Start over every single day. Wake up every day like you're starting brand new and fresh, and live in that moment and work in that just for today. And your whole life in business will change, because it's not about all these goals that I have in the future that I'm going to, most of them are unrealistic anyways. Right?
They rare. Yeah.
I just need to just be here in the day, working just for today, starting over just for today. And that is the way that I'm going to not only fix my past, because today will soon be the past, but it's also the only way I'm going to achieve anything in the future, because those days build up. They
That's right.
turn
That's
one day into two. It's momentum.
Yeah, it's momentum, and that's really is important. I'm one of those people, Dave, that I like to know. I want to get to like the end result. So it's hard for me to have. I've had to adjust that mindset. It's like and do what you're saying. Like today, I'm gonna make 3 videos. I'm just gonna do it. Here's what we're going to talk about today, and I kind of try to sketch it out. And sometimes you trash that video and you start all over, and you gotta like, oh God, and just sometimes it doesn't work, and you just keep plugging at it till you get it. Something like, I don't worry too much about saying something that I've got to. Well, nope, I really meant to say that. Sometimes I will. I'll redo the reel. But, I also have, and I haven't done this for a while, but I also have a YouTube cooking show that's totally different. It's totally unrelated. I don't promote anything on there. It's just, I do it for fun. And I haven't done it for a couple of months because I was sick as a dog in January and February. But when I do those videos, and I'm cooking something. I'm making essentially a baker. My kitchen is the size of a postage stamp. So getting a tripod, I have no place to put one on a counter. So it's like it's comical. People are looking at the back of my head, and I have to turn around and talk to them, and it's ridiculous. The only thing I can that it reminds me of is, and you may not even, is Julia Childs. Remember? Did you ever? You're too young, but back when I was a kid, she had a live PBS cooking show. And if you've ever, I mean, they're available on YouTube and everywhere, but go watch them. She's hysterical. She would drop things and things would flop here. And she just carried on because it was
Right.
live. What are you going to do? So
Yeah.
that's what I do in my cooking videos. I mean, like, today we're making something I've never made before. So this will be fun. And, I just rolled with it. And so I certainly don't take that very seriously. I take my digital marketing business seriously, but I don't take myself really all the time serious when I'm doing my videos because, funny stuff happens. It just does. And you have to laugh about it or you're going to die, and so just kind of go with that flow and don't worry about it because like you say, you get to try it again tomorrow, assuming you don't get hit by a bus today.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's a lot of value to that. It's like, just do what you can do for today, but be consistent with it. Make that commitment. If you have to get up every morning and commit to your business fresh every day, then that's the plan. You're going to have to do that. I'm in it to win it at this point. I don't, at the beginning, I think I did like, yeah, well, geez, got to do this today. And there are those times when I kind of get burned out doing 3 videos a day and I recycle some and I'm thinking that's okay, but it feels a little cheesy to me, but I think it's okay. So I do what I can, and let the rest go.
Yeah.
It's we're human. We get to be human in this process. And we're learning a lot about, I learn a lot about my capabilities and my strength and my endurance and where the boundaries are. I mean, it's a really interesting, from a psychology point of view, it's really interesting dynamic that you get into if you can be reflective and, kind of self-assess periodically where you are and what growth you're making as a digital marketer, but also as a human. How are you taking what you're getting here? What skill sets are you learning here that you can apply to your life, to your family, to your kids, to your, outside interactions that, are going to help you.
Stacking learning experiences. You want to learn
Scaffolding. We call it scaffolding.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Beautiful. Well said. And also the part about the, not stopping filming when you have a blooper. Those are the best parts of the content. I mean, those are the memorable parts. Those are the parts that make your content real and entertaining. And when it's perfect, it's not fun to watch. It's one of the reasons why I like going live, is because it leaves no room for that. It leaves, I can't stop and edit. So it forces this natural interaction. It captures all the hilarious little moments. And it's one of the reasons I don't spend any time backstage talking to guests before we go live.
Yeah.
That's why I do it, is because I want to just go live and capture all the little awkwardness, all the little humanness to humanize the experience for viewers, because it's more entertaining that way. It's also more fun. I mean, for me, I think you got to get somewhat addicted and comfortable to being uncomfortable. And you can't, you gotta allow yourself to for that to be fun instead of be so scary. And I think for most of you listening to this right now, having a blooper in your video is like, you're paralyzed at that thought. You just, oh my God, I don't know. And the truth is that you need to, when you start filming, get a little bit of adrenaline and have those bloopers become fun instead of become a reason to be frantic.
In most of my videos, I'm laughing at some point because I'm sharing some ridiculous thing that happened that I
Yeah.
thought was funny. And it's like it's a tricky thing because I don't want people to just think I'm some joke. So it's not that, because I try to, bring it back home, like, da, 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 but this stupid thing happened today, or this thing, and or like, the thing just, the dog's in the background scratching, licking his rear end or something. It's all okay.
It is.
It's just it. Well, there he goes. So whatever. Here we
Yeah.
are, and you just go with it. And I think people so appreciate that because it's like, oh, geez, my dog does that too. And
Right.
look, she's a human being, and yeah.
Yeah. It's beautiful, and there's a great and obvious reason why you're taking off. It's because of all the things that you're teaching us this morning about your approach, and it's very human, it's very real, it's very vulnerable, it's very fun, and good for you for having this time, that you're having, because you're having a whole experience. It's not just about money, or it's not just about this for you, or that. It's about the whole experience, the learning, the growing, the financial aspect. It's about everything for you. It's about serving people and being helpful.
Yes. Yes.
All of that is so important, so useful, and it's so obvious. And we hope that, and we will do everything that we can to continue to give you this platform to share, boost your business up. You deserve all the growth that's coming your way and all the growth that you've had, Jill. And it's been such a pleasure to catch up with you again. So let's do number 3 real soon, okay?
I would love to. I thank you so much. And, I just wanted to say that last time I was on, I read all of the comments that people post. They were just so generous and so lovely and so kind. You have such a wonderful family here, and I'm so proud and thankful to be a part of it. I want to thank you, Dave, for everything you've done for me. I appreciate it. And Legendary.
You're
It's
so
been great.
welcome. And go back and read them again today, because they're just as kind and just as supportive. And yes, shout out to everybody who's listening and who
Absolutely.
attends, because
Yeah.
we love you, and it wouldn't be the same without you. So, all right,
Right.
Jill. Well,
Thank you,
hey,
Dave.
see you
Take good
later.
care.
One last hat
Bye.
throw for you, my friend. We'll talk to you later. All right.
All right. Toodaloo.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, my friends, you can go and find and follow Jill over at Jill. Let me just bring her back on to make sure I'm not butchering. Tofferi.
No.
Okay.
It's okay, Dave. Nobody says it correctly. It's
Yeah.
a Finnish name. It's a weird Finnish name. It's pronounced Tofferi.
Tofferi. Jill Tofferi.
Tofferi.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Take care, my friend.
Thanks.
All right. You can go find and follow Jill over at Jill Tofferi, Jill. Write this one down or take a screenshot so you can go over and find her. JILLTOFFERI, Jill Tofferi, over on Instagram. Okay. Similarly, she's got a Facebook profile we'd like to share with you, Make Money with Jill. And that's spelled exactly how it sounds, with no spaces or underscores or dots. Make Money with Jill, JILL, Make Money with Jill. Find her on Instagram, find her on Facebook, and go and follow her, learn from her, support her, be a part of her world, because she's rocking and rolling and is a lot of fun, and is definitely a great example, as you all heard, for having a whole experience here and really embracing all of the ups, the downs, the goods, the bads, the uglies, and having fun with it, and using it and making it a growing experience, and turning that growth into financial rewards. That's really what is the process. You become, you have the growth, you become the person, and then financial rewards come, and they're going to come slower than whatever you anticipate or want, and that's okay. That's probably best for you. A lot of times we are not prepared for huge financial success when we first start a business. We need to develop some discipline. We need to develop some stick-to-itness. We need to develop some perseverance. We need to develop a sense of accountability and structure with our business. Otherwise, if you made a bunch of money, then you'd just say, oh, I got all the money, and then you'd go away and quit, and you'd burn through the money like so many athletes and other superstars who didn't have the financial discipline to be able to know what to do when they had the success. So build yourself a firm foundation and continue to grow. And before you know it, the rewards will start to come. They'll be abundant, and it'll be more fulfilling that way as well, because you'll have worked for it. And it's much more fun. It feels much better that way. I can tell you, after a 13-year career in this, the rewards that I get, I feel good about them. They feel like a true reward. I know that I'm deserving of them. And they certainly didn't come as fast as I would have liked them to have come. There's a lot of people that I've seen in our community have much bigger success much faster than I did at the beginning of my career. That's just each person's journey is different. So embrace your journey. And remember, no matter who you are, where you're at, what age you are, where you come from, what you did before this, or as you're doing this, you have a unique skill and a unique, you have everything that you need inside of you already in order to be successful with your own business. You just need to go in there and mine it. It's like gold. It may be dormant, or you may need to upgrade your mental software, sort of like we do with our phones every once in a while. You upgrade that software. Maybe you need to spray a little WD-40 up there in the old brain. Get the old gears turning to think for yourself, and instead of having somebody tell you what to do like you have in your job for the last 20 years. That's okay. It may take some time to break some of those old habits of waiting for somebody to tell you what to do. That's why we're here. This is the school of hard knocks. It's the school of entrepreneurship. It's not supposed to be easy, and all of the coaching and counseling and so forth that you're getting here is not supposed to be in the form of coddling you and telling you it's going to be okay. No, it's going to be hard. It's going to be challenging. It may be one of the most difficult things you've done ever. And we hope that once you do it, it will also be one of the most rewarding things that you've ever done. And so with that said, again, go follow Jill over on Facebook and Instagram. She's Make Money with Jill on Facebook, and she is Jill Tofferi on Instagram. Jill Tofferi, JILLTOFFERI. My friends, we will see you back here tomorrow for another episode. If you want to get started with any of our programs, you can go to legendarymarketer.com/enroll. Check it out. Get started. Start today. Take some action today from the excitement that you feel from listening to some of these stories and listening to the real authentic path that people have taken in order to start and launch their own digital marketing businesses. And with that being said, get out of here, my friends. Have a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another episode. Peace.